Today I will inform you of the different types of self-talk, how and when to speak to yourselves, and some interesting facts about self-talk. To begin, self-talk is a common practice that takes many forms. Elizabeth Bernstein, a columnist for the Wall Street Journal, states that there are two major types of self-talk, motivational and instructional. The first form, motivational, occurs when you say something positive to cheer yourself on, such as, "You can do this," or "Don't give up." Quite simply, it's a way to boost your self-esteem when you do something well. The second common form of self-talk, instructional, happens when you critique your own behaviors in a healthy, objective way. For example, a cross-country runner might tell herself, "Extend your stride," or "Take deeper breaths." The idea behind instructional self-talk is to constantly remind yourself to form good habits until the effects become automatic. It's a useful technique, utilized by both athletes and academics alike. By using a combination of motivational and instructional self-speak, you will quickly begin to realize the many benefits of talking to yourself. One reason I sometimes talk to myself is because voicing my thoughts aloud strengthens my memory. An article published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology states that saying a word aloud makes it more memorizable by increasing its distinctiveness. When you say things you wish to remember, you are emphasizing to your brains that this is something I want to remember, so remember it. It's how I learn everything from forensics pieces to lists of vocabulary words to names and dates for government class. Another good reason to talk to yourself is that people who do tend to solve problems more efficiently. In a study by psychologist Daniel Swigley, a group of people were assigned objects in a grocery store and instructed to find them. Half of the test subjects, though, were instructed to recite the object's name as they searched for it, while the other half was bound to silence. The study concluded that the first test subjects, those that recited their object's name, were able to locate it faster on average. Swigley's study has become important to the field of psychology because it has proven that there is a link between critical thinking and self-talk. Now that we've discussed the different types and benefits of self-speak, I will explain how you should talk to yourself. First, speak to yourself in short, concise sentences. It's often best for memory's sake to focus your thoughts into condensed statements. Next, be consistent in what you tell yourself. Have you ever heard the old adage, repetition is good for the developing brain? Repetition is crucial in the case of instructional self-speak. It's hard to form constructive habits if you do not consistently remind yourself of their importance. The final tip to keep in mind is perhaps the most essential. When you talk to yourself, refer to yourself as either you or by your own name. A University of Michigan study suggests that people who refer to themselves in the second person ruminate less over their mistakes. In the study, 1,000 test subjects gave impromptu speeches without notes. Half of the test subjects, though, were instructed to refer to themselves by name as they prepared for the speech, while the other half were to refer to themselves in the first person. The study concluded that the test subjects who referred to themselves by name were not as easily stressed out by the speech. It's often the difference between, "You're talking a little too fast, Keegan. Try slowing down," and "No, I'm talking too fast now." Which did you think sounded less anxious? An additional tip to keep in mind is that you can use both positive and negative statements to your advantage. For example, before walking here to present my speech to you today, I might have told myself, "Relax, Keegan. Remember what your coach taught you and try your best." It's a positive comment that captures a healthy, impartial mindset. Likewise, I can use a negative comment to positively influence my action. If I were doubtful of my speech before presenting it to you, I also might have told myself, "Keegan, this performance may be a little rocky, but with hard work, you can get better." In this example, I use a negative comment to accept responsibility for my shortcomings and promise myself to correct them. It may take some getting used to, but when you learn to use the rules of self-talk to your advantage, you'll begin to enjoy the many benefits that come from talking to yourself. Finally, allow me to share with you some interesting facts about self-talk. If you want empirical evidence that self-talk works, look at the example of Albert Einstein. The story of this eccentric physicist is famous. He developed the revolutionary theory of relativity in a German patent office and quickly became a recognized figure in the scientific community. However, few people are aware that Einstein was a lifelong self-talker. According to AlbertEinstein.org, the 7-year-old Einstein frightened his parents when they witnessed him repeating his sentences to himself softly. In the early 20th century, self-talk was often diagnosed as a symptom of stupidity. Ironically, Einstein's parents could not have been more mistaken of his habit. Additionally, if you're still certain you've never talked to yourself before, you might want to think again. Psychologists have identified an abstract form of self-talk in the child who creates an imaginary friend. According to a University of Oregon study, approximately 37% of children create entirely imaginary friends with whom they converse. Unsurprisingly, this imaginary friend may be strikingly similar to the child who created it, sharing the same likes, distastes, fears, or desires as its creator. Because children often use their imaginary friends to voice their thoughts and opinions, I consider imaginary friends to be a special type of self-talk. Think back to when you were a child. Do you remember having an imaginary friend? I had one. He was a bluebird named Cassie. In conclusion, self-talk is a common practice that most people engage in at some point in their lives, but one that few people truly master. I hope that by listening to my speech today, I have made you more aware of the different types of self-talk and more likely to practice them on your own. And if you're still skeptical of self-talk, allow me to set an example for you. You see, Keegan, it wasn't so bad after all. You might want to practice a few more times before your next round so that you get even better.
What if your thoughts could speak? What dreams, fears, or desires would they reveal?
Sometimes our physical self isn't able to truly to describe what's in our hearts.
This is Jack in the Box.
By Brian Weiler.
Hello, my name is Jack, and I have an IQ of 180. That's genius level. Now, you're either shocked because by the sound of my voice you were thinking an IQ more in the range of a low-scoring hockey game. Or not shocked thinking it figures. All those cripple freaks are geniuses. To be honest, no one was more surprised to hear my IQ than my mom. She made me take a test at a Reader's Digest when I was in 5th grade. She kept shoving it in front of me. I think she was secretly hoping that I was gifted but lazy. When she left the room, I cheated and scored an impressive 158. Mom was thrilled. But after a few weeks, I told her the truth. She was angry, but mostly disappointed that her daughter was just normal.
Normal. Normal. Did you hear me? That is what I strive for. Normal. I don't want to be the blind one-legged girl who climbs Mount Everest, or the person who paints Rembrandt knockoffs with their left foot. I just want to be normal.
Good luck.
I just wish people could see the real me.
That's the hardest thing about CP.
That's cerebral palsy for all you lay people.
People see that you move a bit different and speak a bit different
And they just assume you're some idiot without feelings. Hey, dude, I see you staring. See the two eyeball-looking things under my eyebrows? They're eyes. Idiots. Yeah, I laugh sometimes, so I don't cry.
People treat me like I have some infectious disease. It takes time to get to know someone, and people just don't have the time. I feel like the real me is trapped inside, like a jack in the box. If people took their time to turn the handle a few times, then...
Hey, world, you'd find out that I'm a pretty cool girl. Love sailing, moonlit walks on the beach, romantic dinners. Really, you can get close to me. It's not a disease.
It's really just an injury, an accident.
I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck a few times and somehow managed to throw a few knots in the sucker while I was at it.
A born Girl Scout.
No one had any idea it was going to be this way.
Not enough oxygen to the brain, and bam, CP. I wasn't some 2-pound preemie either. I was a healthy 9-pounder. That's what ticks me off the most. Up to the point of delivery,
I was normal.
I have what is called spastic CP.
Which is why I run around and jump so much I'm spastic.
I wish. I can't really do any of those things.
I could. If I could upgrade to a better box.
Spastic really means
I'm a bit stiff, and my movements are a bit jerky.
because my muscles are too tight, I have a hard time relaxing them.
Let me shake your hand and you might not get it back.
Rip it right off in the wrist.
Pleased to meet you, Jack. Ah! My my God, she's torn off my hand! At least spastic CP is the most common CP, so...
Amongst the CP community, I am normal.
Yeah, normal.
I feel shafted about the whole walking thing.
At 9, I was up and mobile. I was on my way to winning the next Ironman competition.
Yeah, if the bike could have 3 wheels.
But then,
See, I was mainstream in the regular classroom since I was in kindergarten.
Mom insisted
The students were all told by the teachers
that I was normal. Of course, they explained it all in front of me, pointing and gesturing like I was some inanimate object.
a bowl of plastic fruit.
Hey, people, I'm sitting right here.
I'm not sure
The teachers totally believed I was normal.
but over the next few years, I did make a few friends.
Few meaning 1.
Okay, 1. He talked to me like I was normal,
He was my inspiration to walk.
and I did.
I lived 1 block away from the school, and my mom even let him walk me home once.
Yeah, trailing 50 feet behind me in the van.
But then came 3rd grade.
Bam, CP. See, I was starting to have trouble with my hip.
Mom set me up for surgery to get things fixed.
It was all downhill from there.
They put in all sorts of nuts and bolts.
Hurt all the time.
3 surgeries.
Constant, severe pain.
They put in nuts, bolts, a mid-70s Buick.
Okay, maybe not the Buick, but it felt like it. The pain went away, but I was never going to walk again.
I hit my prime at 9. These old legs of mine logged themselves less than a mile. Shame, good-looking legs too.
Wheelchair bound for the rest of my life. I wanted to
Scream! I wanted to run! I prayed and prayed to God. I wanted it so bad.
so bad.
Back to the chair.
I'd like to make the story more tolerable by saying my friend moved away. But the truth is, he stopped being my friend.
Not really his fault. 3rd graders just aren't the most patient souls. Lots to run around, to see and do.
And I was just too slow now.
Look, I'm 25 years old now. I know that others with CP have it worse than I do, but there are sometimes I just look at myself and I shake my head.
I got shafted. Some people with CP walk, drive. I even heard of a woman who got her motorcycle license.
They have tons of friends, fall in love,
Married,
have kids.
shafted.
You see, I'm not a feel-good story. Junior high and high school, they don't bring the most fondest of memories. They bring back long hours of physical therapy, cruel jokes, pity, and stares.
I hate those the worst. Stares.
I remember failures, unable to wipe myself, never having a guy kiss me.
I'd be lying if I said I hadn't entertained the idea of ending it all. Biting the proverbial bullet. But
I wouldn't let me. The funny thing about that was I kept thinking, what if I had the gun in my hand and my spastic death grip wouldn't let go? I wouldn't be able to go outside. Everyone would think that the retarded girl in the wheelchair was going on a killing spree, killing all those who stare. So, I'd be sitting in my living room for days, holding the gun in my spastic death grip. And that'd be enough to make anyone want to commit suicide.
I guess everyone has those thoughts from time